So jealous.
Here we go.
Nobody's ever
Does that
said I
make me
look like
chewy?
Nobody's ever said I look like a Star Wars character except for like Walrus face.
C-3PO.
C-3PO?
Yeah.
That's worse of an insult than Walrus face. Good gracious. Good whatever night, morning, day, whatever you're listening to. Welcome to the Five Live Bears podcast. We are glad you are here with us. We're excited about tonight. We are going to be talking some movies here in just a minute, but we just want to say thank you for listening. We're excited that you all check in with us every week and tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a squirrel, tell somebody. Check out the Five Live Bears podcast. But anyways, around the room, how's everybody doing tonight? Brian, how are you?
Doing really good.
Really good. You know what? I thought we would start out a little bit different tonight, Charlie. Tell me this. What's the best thing that happened to you this week, Charlie?
I found this shirt on clearance today.
Nice.
It's
How
a really
much?
nice shirt.
How much?
My son.
It's
likes it.
20. It's
Okay.
it's a Hagar.
Oh.
Yeah. I bought it at Kroger, of all places.
What?
But yeah.
Kroger sells shirts.
The super mega Kroger on Dixie Highway. Yes, sir.
Wow.
And sushi.
And sushi.
It's
A
sushi.
sushi shirt.
Sushi
They,
shirt.
they sell taco bowls. You can get the taco bowl.
Yeah, they are much better than Qdoba.
No.
They are.
Are they really?
Oh, so much better.
It's not saying a
I mean,
whole
it's
lot.
probably not, the frou-frou steroid antibiotic-free chicken.
Uh-oh, somebody's up on a soapbox today. Brian, what's the best thing that's happened to you this past week?
My girls finished school and we bought a house.
Oh, bought a house.
Finally, thank you.
Man.
The live studio audience loves that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, yeah, thank
The
you.
Five
Thank
Live
you.
fans.
Thank you. Yeah. Have you over
Uh,
sometime for barbecue.
Johnny John, best thing this past week for you?
The best thing that happened this week happened today. I finally got the grade report back on a master's level classroom management class I've been taking. And I can now actively recertify for next year and the year after that.
As a
which is-
lifeguard?
No, as a middle school teacher.
Oh.
So
Okay.
it works. Works for me. I'm good.
Good stuff.
And school's out. I mean, like officially out. I don't have to go back and do anything
Oh.
until August.
Okay.
I'm done.
Here comes the bragging.
I was gonna say the
Here
jealous
comes
meter
the
just.
brag.
Well, I was bragging a little bit.
Oh,
but-
what do you guys got to do on Monday? Go to work? Not this guy.
I'm gonna be playing PS4.
You know,
all day
see-
long.
see
I'm
the
gonna
weird-
sleep until 8:30.
Let me tell you about the weird time, the time thing that happens with you, like right now. Is I woke up this morning, it was about 8:30-ish, and I rolled out of bed, I sat up, and I said, what day is it? I couldn't remember what day it was. I couldn't remember if it was Friday or Thursday. And
Were you like self? What would you like to do today? Self?
yeah, pretty much. Except Susie was upstairs in her room. She's like, she woke up and said, Dad, take me to the mall. I'm like, I'm not going to the mall today, Susie. Then let's just go to Steak and Shake. Okay, well, we can do that.
Nice.
That's a pretty
Yeah.
good trade-off to get out.
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
definitely.
mall.
Did you get Hepe?
No, I did not. Not yet. At least I don't think I have.
I refer to Applebee's now as Hepplebee's.
There's an
Anybody-
outbreak.
anybody go to Applebee's?
All the way from Mesquite, Texas. Aaron, tell me the best thing that's happened to you this week. Has anything good happened to you this week?
I almost died earlier, but that's not really good.
How'd you almost die?
I was leaving Deadpool 2 and just driving down the road, and all of a sudden a guy just turned like straight at me, like he was going to T-bone me if I hadn't swerved out of the way. And he was flying, and it was pretty scary. So,
Aaron got to
Yeah.
use some of the mad skills he learned in the movie.
actual good thing. I bought a Switch game last night, West of Loathing. It's like a stickman western. It's really funny. So,
I thought you said I
You
bought
want-
a switchblade last night. I'm like, well, that's cool too,
bought a
I guess.
Switchblade last night. So I was loathing myself. So,
All right, Aaron. Never a dull moment in your life.
never.
As for myself, last Friday, Brian and I took on the mission of seeing 2 movies in one night. Somehow, some way over the last year, I became friends with a guy on Facebook that is a general manager of an AMC movie theater in North Dakota, of all places. And he sent me a free AMC movie card pass for 1 year.
Just out of curiosity, where do you meet these people?
It was a Funko Pop group.
Oh, it's one of
And,
Good
them.
answer. Good answer.
Because I remember you used to like hang out like online with one of the guys that was in Battlestar Galactica or something at one point.
Yeah. The guys that were in Nobody's Watching,
Yeah.
Taron Killam and William Campbell. Yeah, I used to call him and talk to him on the phone.
Yeah, one of the guys who played Billy in Battlestar Galactica, he was friends with.
weird time in my life. But anyways, so I have this pass that every 2 hours I can see a movie at AMC for free. I found out the other day I can see IMAX movies for free. So that was pretty sweet. But anyways, so Brian and we took on the mission of seeing both Deadpool and Solo in one night at AMC. Couple of things. A, if you're going to go see a new movie at AMC Stony Brook and the movie starts at 5:15, you got about 30 minutes before the movie actually starts. Brian got there like, we were going to see this movie at 5:15, and Brian's like, we're going to be late, so we're going to wait till 5:40. We went to the 5:45 showing of Deadpool. The movie started at 6:17.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me rant on this just for a second.
Oh my goodness!
When I was in of all places, and we'll talk about Solo here in a few minutes. I don't want to
I'm
get.
going to say Bowling Green.
I just want to say Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
I need to make a. We need to make a thing for that. That's my home away from home, man. I mean, I know people make fun of it, but I like
He just
Bowling
went
Green.
full Bowling Green.
Just went full Bowling Green.
He just went full Bowling.
Well, full Bowling Green needs to like fix their movie theaters because the movie theater we were in was trash. Or at least I was in was trash.
It's Bowling.
And well, they still have,
It is Bowling Green.
okay, never mind. I forget it. Anyway, but I went and sat down. Of course, I went to it by myself because Carla and Susie had to go to the mall. So they went to the mall. I went to the movies. It was a 12:20 showing, and this movie did not start until almost 12:45, something like that. I was like, it's trailer after trailer. And then the other night we went to Showcase, or not Showcase anymore, whatever it is over there on Preston Crossing. And it was a 7:15 showing. It was 17 minutes
It's rough.
of trailers.
Now, if you go to Keystone, like if you're not there at 7:05, you missed the movie.
Yeah.
It's like one trailer out the door. But bro, it was
And then the
insane.
Did you just bro us?
I just broed you.
and then the Deadpool trailers were.
The Deadpool trailer.
I
It's
mean,
like
I was
you're
like,
seeing a
whoa,
rated
whoa,
R
Tim, what do we
film.
go see here?
So
This is how we do
it was like regular trailer, regular trailer, regular trailer, regular trailer, red band trailer, red band trailer, and we were just like, "What are we watching?" It was insanity. I'm not.
I mean, and
what,
Muppets were
Aaron?
doing things I've never seen Muppets do, and I was just like,
I
Aaron,
don't
Aaron, did
talk
you have
about that
trailers
one.
like that?
Yeah, but that was like when I went and saw that game night movie, and they showed the red trailer for Blockers, that John Cena movie. I was like, what the heck am I watching?
yes.
It's like you're not expecting it, and it was like, whoa.
Okay, I'm just going to say it's about the one with the puppets.
I'm not naming it.
No, I'm not naming it. No name, because I don't want to promote
No,
that thing on here at all because it was absolutely ridiculous. I had to go online and watch the trailer because Aaron or somebody had dropped it on Bear Chat.
It was me.
Yeah, about how they were being sued by Sesame Street. So I clicked on it. It was really like, well, what is this? I hit the trailer. Okay, if this isn't the end of Melissa McCarthy's career,
Unfortunately, it'll be a shot in the arm for it.
I'm telling
I'm
you.
telling you, it will. 10 years ago, this would have killed anybody. I mean, it would have killed anybody's career. But I mean, how low can you go?
Brian and I were like,
And I didn't mean to
we were
start talking about
sitting
this
next
thing.
to each other in the movie and felt like we needed to scoot down seats from each other.
Yeah,
Like,
because I was like, whoa.
this was like so inappropriate. Like everybody in the theater ended it. Everybody was like, "Oh,
I mean, it's literally a porn. I mean, I'll just say it. It
Muppets.
is, and it's ridiculous. It's stupid, and it should never even be. I don't even know why we're discussing it. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
But anyways, the first movie we saw was Deadpool 2, and I thought, what better way to start off tonight? Let's talk about Deadpool 2. So if you at home have not seen Deadpool 2, guess what? We're about to talk about spoilers for Deadpool 2. Oh, spoiler alert. We're talking Deadpool 2 spoilers. We'll let you know right off the bat, John has not seen this movie yet. He had his...
But John gives y'all full license to talk about it however you want, because I'm probably not going to see it. And in fact, I can probably predict what's going to happen in the movie from the start, because it doesn't look like it's anything but predictable. So I don't care. I mean, now it looks like it's going to be. It's predictable. It's just going to be Okay.
Okay,
He
can
was
we
blown
play a
apart in
game?
the first
Whoa,
5 minutes.
Oh.
Aaron's on top of this already. Aaron, go
Can we
ahead.
play a
Jump in.
game?
Jump
John,
in.
tell us what happens in Deadpool 2.
I'll listen to Aaron, man. Aaron's calling me out.
Wow.
Aaron's like, you tell us, boy.
Because Aaron probably thinks you're right.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure.
think it's less of a call out,
Hang
more of
on.
he wants to
let
see
me
where,
let me
you
see. Let me see how. Let me see. They start off funny, vulgar gags. The mutant, the girthy kid
Fire Fist.
shows up. Cable's got to kill him. They have a fight. Deadpool goes to jail, prison. Somehow they bust out of there, and they team up with Colossus, and they save the kid. His love interest dies or something like that. He's got to go out and seek vengeance on Cable for that, and then they wind up being together to fight the main bad guy at the end. That's
Ooh,
You're not far off,
you're
John.
about
Yeah.
80%.
Am I?
Yeah,
Did
there's
I
a
get
couple.
that?
There's
45%.
there's a
No,
45.
45%.
Did you watch the same movie, Aaron?
You've got 2 key points that are a little bit off, but other than that, you got it.
And to be honest with you, I have not seen anything about it.
What, Aaron?
I was just going to say some of the major surprises he's off of, and like maybe the tone of the movie. Like the trailers are a little bit misleading. You know exactly what the movie is.
So, but pretty. You hit a lot of the major points. First off, the girthy kid, as you refer to him, Fire Fist.
That's all I can know him as.
Fire Fists is basically Rebel Wilson.
I didn't think about that, but you're right.
He's Rebel Wilson as a little girthy kid, boy, and it was.
Well, I mean, he might have different pronouns.
I don't know. I don't know what they do over in New Zealand, but anyways, before we really break down the movie, just around the room for those of us seen it, kind of a general feeling about the movie, Charlie.
It was good. It was not as good as the first one. Some of the low budget charm was missing, but it was an enjoyable film. I'm glad that I saw it in the theater. It's I didn't realize who Matt Damon was until later on.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so I was like, I knew he was in it. The Brad Pitt cameo was awesome.
Brad Pitt cameo was great.
All the
Wait,
little.
Matt Damon's in it?
He's
Yeah.
the one redneck talking about the toilet
He's
paper.
the one talking to Alan
okay.
Tudyk. Yeah.
I haven't even seen it. That sounds funny.
Well, Alan Tudyk's in it for about 2
You
seconds
take
too.
the,
Oh,
you
man.
take- first you take the wet wipe.
Yeah, I liked all the cameos. I liked all the characters from the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. It just the first one had such a low budget, but you didn't know it until after the film came out, and that was kind of charming about it. This one, you saw every single dollar on the screen, man. It was special effects heavy. A lot of things that I weren't expecting to happen were cool, like the when Colossus, just turns all awesome. That was
Yeah.
great.
He fought dirty.
Yeah, well, just the whole fight scene in general was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
The unsung hero of both Deadpool films is Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
She's always great. in it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just,
it was great. I thought, but it could have been better. I mean, it was not. I didn't like it as much as I liked the first one. That's
all right, Brian.
I thought it was good. It was what I was expecting from a Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
I did love. My favorite thing was probably at the very end of the movie when he time travels and he's sitting
Yes.
there with the Green Lantern script and he's like, "You made it to the big leagues, boy!" Boom, right in the head. And he's like, "You're
That's
welcome." Like that
welcome.
was.
You're
that
welcome,
was good.
Canada.
You're welcome, Canada.
That was my
Yeah.
that was my favorite spot of probably the whole movie.
Yeah.
But it was to me I put them both together. I mean they were
Yeah,
equal for me.
sure. Aaron.
It was the Austin Powers 2 movie I really wanted and didn't get way back then. So, because the problem with Austin Powers 2 was he lost Vanessa and it had no effect on him. He's like, oh, let's have a musical number. And this was, oh, I lost love of my life and now it's really going to affect me. And I really enjoyed it. I liked it better than the first one. I barely remember the first one, actually. So if I went back and watched it, my opinion might change. But I liked it all the way up until the end credit sequence where they kind of undid some stuff
Yeah.
that I didn't like. So
Yeah, John, I want to leave one surprise for you in the movie. So I won't name what happens in the first end credit scene, but it really, really, really undoes a lot of the movie. But
Undoes or undoes?
I don't know.
I'm still thinking. I thought
Do you
Aaron said
think that they
Austin
did
Powers.
that?
so-
Undid,
Undoes.
undoesn't.
Undoes. It undoes.
Undoesical.
It undid.
Are we discussing this?
Oh no!
This is not this is not a grammar podcast.
Aaron has this rumor that they did that because fan reaction of it, what happened. But anyways, my overall thoughts, I enjoyed it. It was a typical, what I would say, Deadpool movie. There were some really funny parts. There were some parts that kind of make you roll your eyes. Overall, like Ryan Reynolds is a perfect cast of Deadpool. He's what you want in a Deadpool character. And I think he does that really well. I thought Josh Brolin was great as Cable.
Oh,
Cable
fantastic!
was a lot better than I thought it would be.
He was really well.
The fact that they kept making fun of his height.
Yeah,
Shut up, Thanos.
yeah, their chemistry was really well on screen together. So I enjoyed the movie. It's something that, like, if I would put them comparable, like I probably like Deadpool 1 a little bit better, but it's not like, oh, one's way better than the other one. They're similar films, and I enjoyed them both pretty similarly. So I think everybody enjoyed it. Let me ask you this, Charlie. Your biggest complaint about the movie, you can't use the one first end credit scene as your biggest complaint, because I want to save that for John's surprise.
I don't know if I have a biggest complaint. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't like it as much as like the first one, but there's nothing in particular. I can't really point out a scene or a thing that happened, because everything, even the stuff that was quote unquote annoying, was expected from Deadpool.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't like, it's like there's the scene where he grabs Colossus's butt. That was hilarious because that was just what it was.
Let me ask you this, okay? Let me throw this out there to all of us. He puts together his super team. He gets Shatterstar, he gets Zeitgeist, he gets Bedlam, and he gets the Vanisher. Okay,
and Domino
and Peter.
Yes. But did you not see that coming?
I did. I saw it coming a mile away. How do you feel about the fact that they killed them all off immediately?
Had they not telegraphed it with mentioning the wind,
right?
And we're jumping out of a helicopter in the wind, or airplane in the wind, I mean, after like the fifth time, I'm like, okay, I get it, guys.
I knew it as soon as like Terry Crews was like, "Let's do this. We're gonna kick some. We're gonna be awesome." I was like, "Oh, they're all about to die."
When Weasel mentioned the wind to
the cable,
I was like, "Oh, they're all
dead."
I mean, I thought they were getting sucked into the propellers of the plane, but
but how did you feel about it? Like, did you wish that they would have got more screen time, or are you okay with the joke?
What I liked about it is that not only did it was a long joke they had to set up, but it only proved how awesome Domino was.
Yeah,
Domino was fantastic in the film.
She was,
and
really
the fact
good.
that he didn't like being lucky is not a superpower. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
No, it isn't. Yeah, it is. And then you see, everyone else dies except for her.
Right.
And then
she lands right on the top of the thing.
And then that whole sequence of her driving the transport truck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she needs her own spinoff.
She was good. The actress was great. I thought she was really a breakout of the film. Brian, how did you feel about them building up this X-Force team only to just have them do nothing?
I think I was the most upset about Peter.
Well,
Sugar Bear.
I was like, oh, yeah, come on, But I mean, I agree with you guys. I mean, I thought Domino was fantastic, but the other ones, I mean, it was just kind of like, okay. So all the previews was, him getting his team.
It's all hype.
Of course, you had to whisper to me about the Invisible one, and I was like, I missed him. Dang it.
Yeah, that was Brad Pitt.
Yeah. So.
Aaron, how did you feel about the bring all these great characters together only to have them die in their first scenes?
So 2 weeks ago, I had just read the X-Force book where Zeitgeist's whole team gets killed on their first mission. I felt like an idiot. I'm like, of course they're all going to die on their first mission. That's what happened in the comic books. So
yeah, that is like,
yeah.
I actually just read an article or something about he's got a tattoo of like 116, and that's the issue number that Zeitgeist is on, and like they all die on their first mission. So the only one that kind of surprised me was Shatterstar, only because he's kind of a more well-known character, and I thought maybe they would spin him off into something. But no,
But he's so ridiculous to be in a movie in the first place.
Well, the fact that's also what I loved about it, though, is that they kept him in the exact way he looked in the comics. Like there was no difference. They didn't update the hair, the stupid swords, nothing.
I like the whole scene with I'm an alien from a planet where everybody's way better, or we're way better than all of you. And Deadpool's just once I'd like to have people come from a planet where they're just mediocre and I'm better than all them. And he's like, you mean like Canada?
You shut your... That's something else I didn't catch, but I watched one of those, or read one of those articles, like things you missed about Deadpool.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole thing with the actor who plays Weasel, what's his name?
T.J. Miller.
Yeah, like basically they couldn't cut him out in time.
Right.
But did you catch when at one point, I think it's when he's getting tortured by Cable, he says over the TV, it says Christopher Plummer turns down a role in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
So that's what if they make a Deadpool 3.
T.J. Miller's not going to be in it.
No, but Peter will be Weasel. Like not Weasel, but he'll be that character. He'll be Wade's friend, and he'll be the kind of the straight man to Cable or
Sure.
to Deadpool, I think. Hopefully. Because Peter was great, unsung character of the film, and the fact that he's the only one he saved.
Right. He didn't save any of the other ones. He saved just him. Yeah, that was great. Let me ask you this. Funniest part of the movie to you? Funniest part of the movie. Aaron, you just saw it today. Funniest part of the movie.
Even though I got spoiled by it, like yesterday I saw a picture of it, of the baby legs. That's still funny. I could have had the Basic Instinct joke, but yeah, it was hilarious when he stood up and Linehouse like,
he's gonna win
what's
in the pool.
happening? Linehouse like, what's happening? It was like, it's better you don't know.
Yeah, that was by far my favorite joke. Also, it was just like when they first did it, I'm like, oh, we're doing the first movie again with the baby hands, but like that was one of those times where a sequel does a joke and they do it better. Like they amped it up, and it was great when he stands up and starts walking with that. That was awesome. Speaking of that, I just read on Facebook that Ryan Reynolds had to shoot down rumors that he was sitting on a baby, and that's
But
how
he
they
started those rumors.
did he. Anyways, Charlie, funniest scene for you in the movie?
It's a real small scene, but I cracked up so much when so he blows himself up, and Colossus goes to get him, brings him back in a duffel bag, and he's carrying him down the stairs, or he's dragging him down the stairs. And he keeps hitting the stairs. I thought that was just a real funny little moment.
I love the scene where he grabs the cocaine and just stuffs it in his mask and just goes, blah, just explodes it everywhere. That was pretty good. Brian, funniest scenes for you?
Definitely the baby legs was my favorite of the whole thing.
The baby legs is great, and it's great because everybody's there. Domino's there. T.J. Miller, Weasel's there.
I did like it though.
Cable's there.
Caleb.
What was it
Caleb.
when they did when they were at the mansion and they opened the door and there was the
Yes,
X-Men
that was an
cameo?
awesome cameo
Yeah.
of
I was like,
all
oh.
the X-Men people there, right there, and they just shut the door. That was really good. I like when he breaks Cerebro.
Yeah.
That was good. So, I mean, like I said, overall, it's a Deadpool movie. It had some great scenes in it. It had some, typically everything you got in Deadpool 1, you're pretty much getting in Deadpool 2. I actually had two of my friends see it, and they said the final scene with him and Vanessa, before it goes to credits, with the final scene with it where he's regular himself, like
In heaven.
it was like she said, I'm sitting here thinking, I don't want to cry in a Deadpool movie, but I'm about to cry. Like they did that really well. That was
Right.
such a really, really well done scene. I really liked that part. And
Oh, his death scene, his Bugs Bunny death scene that kept going on and on
That
and
was-
on was so funny.
that was good. They did a really good job with that. And he's just like, oh. I wrote this one while sitting on the John. I call it
It's good, John.
Johnny's John John. Welcome back to the Five Live Bear podcast. That was John laying down some more new music for us, some more new bumper
It's-
music. John, what's that one called?
Like Bumper 10.
Bumper
They don't
10.
have names, but it's. I'm telling you, it is. It's a lot cheaper to do it that way and take a few minutes to use GarageBand to build it than have to go online and buy the stuff. Because even though we don't have a massive following and nobody's really paying attention, as far as legally, a lot of what we're doing, we would be the one podcast though that would get plunked for it.
It would
so,
be my luck.
yeah. So it's easier just to sit down and do some of that stuff for ourselves.
Although we do have Brian, and we have his luck, and so his luck
The
is
my
pretty
luck.
strong.
Brian has got
By
some of
your
the
luck.
best luck
Oh my god!
on the planet.
He's Domino. Brian is Domino from Deadpool. In case you missed it, we started off the first part of the podcast reviewing Deadpool 2, talking about our favorite moments, parts that made us laugh, parts we didn't like. John, as you know, didn't watch it yet, so he didn't chime in much, but that's okay. So let's start off with this. Most likely, there will be a Deadpool sequel. Whether or not that happens in the Disney universe or the Fox universe, I don't know. But let's say this. What do you want to see in a Deadpool sequel? Let's start with Mr. Comic Book Know-It-All himself, Aaron. What would you like to see in a Deadpool sequel?
Well, I don't think we're going to get a Deadpool 3, actually. I think we'll definitely get an X-Force movie, or at least they're going to try to make one. Once the sale goes through, who knows what'll
But
happen.
like X-Force including Deadpool.
Right. So it'll basically be Deadpool 3, but it'll be like, X-Force. I would like to, focus more on X-Force and them finding more New Mutants. And, because I think that was the plan for them to kind of do the New Mutants movie, then eventually Cable would take over that, like he did in the comic books, and make a, new X-Force and all that. So something along those lines.
But I feel like they'll have to use Deadpool as the selling point, though. Like it could be
He'll
Deadpool and
be
the
all over
X-Force or
the
whatever.
poster. Yeah, I mean, you could call it Deadpool 3 X-Force or whatever,
Okay, so you think
But I
they'll
think
go the
they'll focus
X-Force
more.
route?
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie, what about you? What are you hoping to see in a sequel?
With Aaron, I want to see a X-Force movie and not necessarily Deadpool 3. But regardless, I think that X-Force should be Cable, Deadpool, Domino, and Peter. That should be it.
Yeah. Or maybe some of the newer, younger characters introduce them.
No.
No?
Well, maybe Negasonic Teenage Warhead or...
She says she's X-Men.
yeah, but, I mean, X-Men did join X-Force at one point in time.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, or somebody could just snap their fingers and they all be dead anyways. Doesn't matter.
Oh, God. Lazy. They said lazy writing a lot of times in this movie.
Yep.
Brian, what are you hoping to see in a Deadpool sequel?
Just a Deadpool sequel. I mean,
There you go. I wouldn't mind seeing...
just him being more funny. I mean, that's
yeah, not necessarily X-Force team, but just maybe him and Cable, a couple of adventures of him and Cable doing some crazy stuff. But now that you bring it up, I do want to see Domino in it. She was great. A really highlight part of that. But Aaron, we were talking earlier this week about Disney and their attempts to really, buy the Fox and get all of their rights and everything. But you're thinking there's some problems there, right?
We'll find out July 10th. That's when they're going to vote. The shareholders will. I know Comcast has a counter bid that they're making. So they can reject Disney and go for the counter bid. But if they do that, they're going to pay like $2 billion in penalties or something crazy. So I think the deal still goes through, but we'll see. And they already said Disney's already preparing a counter bid if that happens, So it's either going to wrap up July 10th, where we know what's going to happen, or it's going to be just the beginning of a long, bidding war.
Have they came out and said that they're still doing the new X-Men movie, the Phoenix one, right?
Yeah, it's done. It's coming out. The New Mutants one is the one they keep delaying and reshooting. So
Okay.
I think it'll eventually come out, but who knows? I think they're kind of waiting to see what happens with the deal.
The New Mutants one is the one where they're telling the story of the devil demon bear or something like
Demon Bear.
Yeah. So are any other mutant movies out there that were on the cusp that may not or may happen?
I think it's just X-Force, the X-Men movie, and New Mutants. I think everything else is kind of... I mean, they were talking about Multiple Man and Gambit. They keep saying they're going to start filming. I don't buy that.
Gambit. If they do a Gambit movie with Channing Tatum as Gambit, So help me, Charlie. I will be there.
Yeah.
That was the rumor, though, that Channing Tatum was going to play Gambit, right, Aaron?
Well, yeah, he's still attached to the project. They just,
Oh,
I think they've gone through
jeez.
3 or 4 directors now. So, I mean, I don't know if Channing Tatum is like doing like creative control. Nobody wants to work with him.
John,
So-
would you watch a Gambit movie starring Channing Tatum
Yeah, probably.
with Jonah Hill probably in it?
Yeah, him and Braden Fraser's.
Jonah Hill as a dupe.
Yes, dude, that's a good one.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe he'll
No.
gain all his weight back and he can
No.
play Blob.
Just in all honestly, no, I would not watch a. I would not watch a Tatum.
Tanning.
Yeah.
A Tauntaun Tatum. Yeah. I gotcha.
Tauntaun Tatum.
Tanto Tatum. I would not watch a.
That's racist.
I don't want to watch anything with him in it. I just don't like him.
Do you have a favorite Tanning Tatum
Me?
movie?
Do I have a favorite one? Jupiter Rising. But it's not because of him. I mean,
You know. Anyways,
it was a good movie.
let me throw this out there before we probably wrap up here in just a few minutes. If you could have a X-Men universe movie that's not already currently out there, who would? Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron's jumping in. Go ahead, Aaron.
Just real quick before we switch subjects, and we'll come back to that one. There was no reason this movie had to be rated R. They could have easily done this a PG-13 with the language and if they toned down the gore a little bit. Because like my kids are huge Deadpool fans, and they can't go see these movies, and I'm like, it's just kind of frustrating because my kids have been begging me to go see Deadpool too, and I'm like, no, you can't go. So
I haven't seen it, and I know earlier I said something about the language in the first one, but I think that the thing about it is, and I agree with Aaron to a certain point, but it would be like saying, okay, we should tone down Logan to make it PG-13. I mean, there would be no way to do that, in my view.
That was a violent.
I mean, that was super violent. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that, but I just don't see where it would be the same movie if it didn't have what it had in it. That doesn't mean I endorse it, but it just.
Now, had they made Deadpool 1 PG-13, then yes. But you can't make a rated R film and then make the sequel PG-13. There's no point in that. And for what they were going with the character, they kind of had to make it rated R. You wouldn't have had the same feeling without it being rated. Not that it had to have been, but that's just what they went for. Let them make their movies, Aaron.
I think it would have been along the lines when, sort of like back in the day when Sugar Ray came out and they were hardcore, almost like rap metal, and then all of a sudden it was like every morning. It's kind of
Wow.
kind of lost the edge there, guys.
Never knew you would make a Deadpool to Sugar Ray comparison.
Well, Sugar Ray is one of the greatest bands of all time. And I'm not being sarcastic when I say that. I love Sugar Ray.
Mark McGrath has an encyclopedic knowledge of all things rock.
He's amazing in Sharknado too.
Yes, he is.
Anyway, sorry, Aaron, I had to say that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Any counterpoint, Aaron?
no, I'm curious to see what happens if the Disney deal goes through. If they reboot everything, if the Deadpool movies will become PG-13 or remain R? I don't know. Because they'll do more Deadpool movies.
I'm not saying that a PG-13 Deadpool movie wouldn't work. I'm just saying in light of what they did, like Charlie said, I didn't articulate it the way Charlie did, is when you make a rated R movie to begin with, you can't come back and make a PG-13 one because it just looks like you're just, I don't know, selling out, because you got this hardcore set of fans who went to see it just because it was rated R and it was edgy and and it had all this stuff in it and they could woo, and that's the way they wanted it. I mean, that's the way the fan base wanted it to be. I didn't go see it not because of all the rated R necessarily but I just didn't go see it because it just really didn't really appeal to me. I saw the trailers. To me, it was way over promoted. I was already sick of seeing it. I said that a couple weeks ago. I'm already tired of looking. I've already felt like I've seen it. So anyway, there you go.
All right. Last.
John still has an opinion. He's like,
Oh, John, came alive.
I've got an opinion on everything.
I
You
get what
should know that.
I get what Aaron's saying. And if both of them would have been PG-13, just so the younger viewing audience could have seen it, because it is not kid friendly at all.
Do you still have that old DVD player that you could cut out everything?
Or they say hot dogs instead of every curse word and stuff like that. And I don't have that. Anyways,
He used to have one of those.
let's jump one more subject before we close out. What mutant X universe type character team would you like to see a movie about? John?
I think I've already getting what I want though. I think I'm getting the I like the just X-Men straight up. What we're seeing.
Okay.
I didn't care. I didn't like of course nobody likes the third X-Men movie. The second one, you liked it?
Yes.
You really did?
Charlie,
That's,
come on.
That's wild. Second one was pretty
It
decent.
had Dr. McSteamy in it, and it also had the Fastball Special. Those were the two things I was looking for in the film.
But they redeemed themselves, with the new ones, the First Class, Days of Future Past. I even liked. Me and Brian went and saw. We even liked the Apocalypse
I
one.
liked
Age of Apocalypse was, or not Age of Apocalypse. What was it called?
Yeah, Age of Apocalypse.
Was it? I know there was Age of Ultron, Age of Apocalypse. They were kind of thinking about them at the same time. But I like that. I like that group. I wouldn't mind seeing a. I don't know. I guess I could go with Alpha Flight.
They made it a comedy, yeah.
Yeah.
If they did it like they did Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean, I could go with that. I mean,
All right.
someone who snickered. I heard somebody
That was me.
snicker.
I snickered.
Yeah, I guess if
Wait, talk about
Timbo
Snickers?
would
if I had to pick something swanky other than just the original X-Men group, then I would have to be
Mine's
Alpha
either
Flight.
X Factor or Multiple Man. I'm a huge Multiple Man fan, but I think X Factor as a whole would be fun with Strong Guy, him, Wolfsbane, Havoc, and Polaris. I would that would be a pretty good one for me. That was probably the only comic book run I really collected when they took over, and so that would be it for me. Just seeing, like, they brought Multiple Man to life in X-Men 3, and they kind of did okay with it. They could have done a lot better with
Yeah.
it. He was more just a throwaway character. But I just think there's so many cool possibilities with that. But Brian, what about you?
Don't have one.
I was about to say Brian, who's probably the least knowledgeable of everybody in the X universe. Yeah.
Is there a Wolverine movie?
Charlie.
Either Multiple Man or I would like to see an ecstatic film. I think that they could do, even if maybe not film, a TV series, because what they did with Legion, I think they could do very well, because ecstatic was very trippy like that. I think
I don't know if I even know what ecstatic is.
It's an indictment on reality TV culture. It's really interesting. It was Mike Allred and Peter Milligan.
I would like to see a Legion movie along the lines of had to be more of like a horror movie though, something along those lines.
I would like to be smart enough to get into Legion.
Oh, Legion is amazing, but
It's-
season 2 is struggling a little bit.
Everybody says it's great. I just can't follow it. I just get lost
watch
and have to.
season one.
I plan on starting again on it.
I have to
here
watch
soon.
it.